Good morning, everybody. Bonjour. This is Neshi Lokatz, and you are watching a live stream from Star Nations organization's main fan page, which consists of Star Nations magazine and radio network, which is now we're doing live stream shows here on Facebook, and the Academy. And so good morning. It's Sunday morning, May 13th, I believe, and it's Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, to all the two-legged children, and also to all of the fur babies. And, you know, if you're a mom of any kind, happy Mother's Day. As you can see, if you've been with me watching the live streams this past week, doing the card draw. I've been usually in my Four Seasons. Good morning, Christine. Doing the live streams from my Four Seasons porch. And my husband, Paul, made the suggestion the other day that maybe we should, hey, I forgot my coffee down at the house. Darn it. Anyway, this is the Academy. This is where we teach classes, and this is where, in fact, we had one of the healers that's going to be joining Star Nations as one of the faculty members, and also a radio or a show host, a live stream show host. She was here doing healings, and so using the space for that. So this is the backdrop. This is I don't know if you can see that. Move my chair a little bit. That's the altar space. So I'm up at the Academy, and we're testing it out to see how live streams occur from here, and if they turn out really good, I'll be doing the morning card draws from here, and also probably my weekly show, which is on Tuesday nights, called Star Nations Communications from Home. And so it's kind of exciting stuff. I like trying new things. So today, the card draw is called Medicine Bundle, and I'll show you the card in just a second. For those who are just joining and they don't know what this live stream's about at all, every morning I do a card draw, and I've been doing this for actually quite a long time. And I had started sharing like a phrase or a sentence or something from the card draw on our Instagram account. And one morning I was doing that, and I realized, well, maybe some of the community members at Star Nations would be interested in, knowing the card draw firsthand and talking a little bit about it. Good morning, Elise. Good you could be here. Yeah, well, this is actually brand new, Elise. I've only been really doing these live streams maybe a week now. And so anyway, I was sharing the information on Instagram and decided maybe our community would really enjoy a short live stream about the card draw for the day. And my intention for the card draw every morning is what is the energy most important for me to know today, and that I can share with others through social media, right? And so I'm asking that to my spiritual team. And I switched up card decks. I was using the Sweat Lodge card deck for about 2 months or so. Maybe it was even longer than that previously. And then I switched out to another card deck that I really, really like. It's by Jamie Sams. It's called Sacred Path Cards. And I'm going to show this, and it's going to be backwards, but that's the name of her book that goes with the cards. And I like the color of the cards, but I also like the back of the cards. The God's Eye. It's a symbol. And I like that color with the turquoise. I think it's turquoise. Kind of a greenish turquoise. Yeah. So Jamie Sams cards. And so this morning, doing the card draw, this is the card that Spirit showed me, and it's called Medicine Bundle. Medicine Bundle. And it's about allies and support. And as you can see, The artwork is of it looks like parfleche bag that they use for the bundle. Got some beads hanging off the fringe, and looks like a claw off from the lanyard, the drawstring. And I'm trying to see. All right, so off the corners, if you can see this, I'm going to try to hold it as close as I can. As you can see, off the corners of the rectangular square there is lightning bolts coming off from it. Yeah, beautiful artwork. And it's about allies and support, medicine bundle. And and you know what I like about Jamie Sam's cards is that she just doesn't tell you what that card application is about, the information on the card, but it's also, she writes, like 3 or 4 pages of information about the card, or the medicine bundle for this, for instance, giving us some historical background, and she writes from information that was given to her by elders in several different tribal nations. So generally, most often she writes from Seneca. That is a tribal nation found on the East Coast, northeastern part of the United States. They're part of the Iroquois Nation. They're called the Haudenosaunee, I think I pronounced that right, is the Iroquois Nation. That's their language, what they call themselves. And it's comprised of several different northeastern tribes where they did, it's like a peace accord, that they're going to be friends and they're going to support each other. And so anyway, she usually writes from that perspective because that is the people that she comes from, and that's the people that she knows the best. But she also includes other nations across the United States, such as the Ojibwa, such as the Lakota and the Tlingit and the Apache and the Yaqui. And so she includes as many nations as she feels that she has the information from firsthand. So the medicine bundle, when she wrote about that, it brought back some good memories, really, from my childhood. My mom, when I was a kid, she would repair medicine bundles, the beadwork on them, because some of those bundles are really, really old, because they can be passed down from generation to generation within your family, depending on what the bundle is for, and or it can go from like a medicine lodge person member to a new medicine lodge person. If somebody passed away, if they walked on and they had a medicine bundle that was being passed on to a new member, that's all decided by the elders, and even the membership into that traditional religion. It's not like a church where you can go in and visit for a while and decide whether or not you want to be a part of that religion. It's by invitation. And so that way they keep the medicine with that alive and active down through the generations, right? So that's one kind of medicine bundle. But there are many kinds. Different societies, the Women's Society, there's one for, the Men, the Warrior Society. They each have their own medicine that's the helpers, that's the spirit of the helpers. And so they each have their own bundle. And so it's kind of like specific for that particular group, right? But there's also your individual and your medicine pouch. And some people wear it around their neck, and it's usually made of deer skin or something like that, and it's worn usually underneath your clothes. Hardly anybody even knows that you have it on. Some people have a smaller bundle that they might keep with them, like in their messenger bag, or something that they carry every day. And so some people actually have it like tied on their belt loop. And so you can carry your medicine helpers with you all day long. And it really is a nice way to be reminded that we're not alone, that we have all kinds of help. And we'll talk a little bit about what goes inside of a medicine bundle, a personal one. And that's the card draw for the day. It's about allies and support. So I think I'm going to focus on the individual medicine pouch because I think that's probably more important for each one of us, because we all have helpers. We all have allies. We have our ancestors. We have power animals. We have totems. We have crystals and all kinds of ways that spirit helps us. And what you can place in your medicine bundle are symbols or aspects of your allies, your spirit helpers. For instance, if you have a bird that is your power animal or your totem, and they gift you with a feather, and like a small feathers or something like that, you can put that inside your medicine pouch, and so you keep it close to your heart. And it's a reminder of that particular bird that is your power animal or your totem, and that they're there with you all the time. Not some of the time, but all the time. Even though many times we say, I don't know where they went. I could have used some help, and they never said anything. They didn't talk to me. They didn't show me. They're still there. They're always there. And so you can put that inside the medicine bundle. You could have a crystal or stone that's an ally. For me, it would be like maybe my birthstone, which is turquoise, right? And I would have a piece of turquoise in my medicine bundle. Or, if you need grounding during the day, maybe it's a more grounding stone like a tiger's eye or Apache tear or onyx or obsidian, something like that, So you can have that in your medicine bundle and carry it with you. It's with you always. Hey, Rob Kendall. Yeah, I hope you're feeling better. Thanks, Elise, for saying that. So medicine bundles. One of the things that I find fascinating is what happens when you're done with them, finished with them. What about the things inside? Because we all shift and change. We grow, right? Hopefully we're growing. And so what happens to those items on the inside that maybe that stone or crystal, you don't need the grounding one as much anymore, You can always keep it in there, but maybe you're working on something else now. Maybe you're working on like your throat chakra or your heart chakra. And so you get a stone or a crystal coming to you. Usually those come to you in a dream, or somebody gifts it to you. You find it, and that you can put that in your medicine bundle. And so it's your ally for your next part of your journey. I like that. Some people, what they do, they return items to Grandmother Earth. They bury them, say thank you, put some tobacco in it with it, and you bury them. If they're burnable, sometimes some people do a sacred fire and they burn those, releasing that spirit and saying thank you, appreciate everything you did for me, and and letting it free, letting it go. So you have space for the next power animal or ally. Now your birth totem you might want to carry with you all the time. So my birth totem is an owl, right? So, if I had an owl feather, one of their pin feathers or something, I might put it in there. That was something that I would keep all the time. So what happens when somebody walks on, they pass away, they die? Jamie Sams uses a term in here that I find, I kind of like. and I'm not sure which people she brings this from. I don't know if it's from the Seneca or the Lakota. I'm going to have to take a look at that a little bit closer. But she uses the term about dropping, or drop your robe. Drop your robe, which means to die. And she writes about when you drop your robe, what happens to your medicine bundle or your pouch, your medicine pouch. Most times things are returned back to Grandmother Earth or they're burned. Not unless you specifically let someone know that there's something in your medicine bundle or in your medicine pouch that you want to go to a specific person. And so your wishes will be carried out, right? But most times things are returned back to Grandmother Earth, one way or another, whether they're buried, burned. Some people put them in the water, depending on what your background is, right? But you know what my suggestion would be? Is this is a very Native American tradition, right? And that's okay. I mean, it's being shared. If it resonates with you and you want to have your own personal medicine pouch, you can. There's some places online that you can go to purchase just the pouch itself, right? Or you can make your own. They're pretty easy to do. Maybe we should do a class on that. That's a good idea. Yeah, I think we'll do that. To learn how to make your own medicine bundle, your own medicine pouch. And we can do a class on that. That sounds like a great idea. So anyway, you can do your own. My suggestion would be is to really look at your own ancestral background. So let's say you're Germanic or you're French, maybe you're British. Is to look at your ancestral background to see where your medicine people come from, where your ancestral holy people come from. Yeah, is to do a little research on your own and how the pagan rites might have been existed for your ancestors, and draw on that. And you can learn what you might put into your medicine pouch or your medicine bundle. For instance, my husband, who's Germanic, he's first generation German here in the United States, and he took one of our ceremonies, a tobacco giving ceremony that we do during a hunt, and learned all about that. My brothers and my mom, they taught him about that, and over the years it evolved. And so he kind of blends his Germanic belief system in there. The Germans, what they do is they put a twig in the mouth of the deer. And it's kind of like a thank you, and it's their last meal, spirit meal. And so he does that. And it really does put a special meaning, a special deeper meaning to that. Elise, would love to come to a class, eager to learn. Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to try to figure out a good date, and it would be on a weekend if we're going to do it in person, because we do it here in Wisconsin. And then for those who can't make the trip, because I know I'm on travel restrictions right now. That's what I call it. It's called a 98-year-old mom. That maybe what we can do is do an online kind of thing. We'll figure it out. We'll ask our allies, our spirit helpers, to help us pull it together and to be able to deliver it in two different ways. One in person here in Wisconsin, and the second one is how do we do that online? How to do that. And I'm sure we'll get all kinds of help for that. So let me tell you a little bit about what Jamie Sams writes about the medicine bundle. She says that the medicine bundle is a collection of items that has come to you in a variety of ways and that represents the totems of your power animals or your allies among nature. Okay, so the things that you put into your medicine bundle or your medicine pouch are symbols of your helpers. Symbols of your helpers. And there's lots of different kinds of bundles that are out there, right? And a bundle can be any size. It could be very small, to something that is rather large. And some people, quite big, because in South America they call them mesas. That's another name for them. So if you are studying from our relatives down in South America, you would have your mesa. That's a medicine bundle. And so their altar is all in their mesa. They carry it with them. And like I said, it can be any size. Some bundles are created by a specific person, a medicine person or a holy person. Some people, would use the word shaman for certain groups of people or a certain person. If it was going to be used in a religious sense, a traditional native religion, they would be the ones that would create that community bundle. There are things called tribal bundles, and they're called grandmother bundles, and that's meant for the entire nation, the entire tribe, the different clans that come together to form a nation, a tribal nation. And so those grandmother bundles would have things that would represent the helpers for the community. Does that make sense? Yeah. And so there'd be certain people who would be caretakers of those larger bundles for the community. And they would be brought out during special occasions to be used, like in a ceremony, And what comes to mind, and I don't know a lot about it, but what comes to mind is the White Buffalo Calf Bundle. Chief Orville Looking Horse is the 19th generation carrier of that particular bundle, and it's been passed down for 19 generations, so it's quite old. So that's what comes to mind, is something like that, But good morning, Jocelyn. So your medicine bundle is really about what you put in your medicine bundle. It's about your allies, those in spirit who support you, those from the crystal or the stone people who support you. And so when you wear it, if you wear it, you have to make room for things in there, because otherwise, and the size makes difference too. How big you want it. Everything from very small, to something that might be 2 inches or so. What is that, 2 inches? And so, because you wear it next to your heart. So she says the allies understand that all acts of physical life are sacred in their proper time. I'm going to say that again because I think it's important. The allies teach us, and so they understand that all acts of physical life are sacred in their proper time. All acts of physical life are sacred in their proper time, divine timing, right? The allies teach us how and when to experience every act along the sacred path with beauty. So when you're grounded and you're centered and you're asking your allies, your spirit helpers for assistance, that you're in balance. You're in balance. You're the connection between heaven and earth, right? And your spirit helpers are here to help you on your earth walk, and you are completing your soul contract as a spirit in a physical body, right, to experience it. So she's talking about the application of this card. So this is the energy for today, right? The energy that we can be aware of and see how it unfolds for us today. She says that if the medicine bundle has come to you, into your hands today, you are being asked to honor the wisdom of your ancestors and your allies. to honor the wisdom of your ancestors and your allies. If you're not sure what the messages are, look at the strengths that are now being given to you and count them as your personal medicine. This assistance is supporting your present path and should be recognized as blessings from your medicine helpers. Through them, you may find the courage to support the self. So, and the self meaning it's our soul that's having the experience through this particular physical vehicle that we chose, right? And so our spirit helpers are able to help us with that, but we have to ask them and turn our attention to them on occasion, right? The focus of this card tells you that you are not alone. We are never alone, ever. The path may be difficult at this time, but you're being supported during your climb. If the path is progressing easy, you are in alignment with your allies and are experiencing their assistance. To be grateful. To be grateful. In my world, we talk about feeding the spirits, right? And so, for instance, one of my allies is the drum. I think you guys all know that, right? Is the drum. And so before I use my drum, especially in the ceremony, I'll put some tobacco on the drum head and kind of massage the tobacco around the drum head. And that's feeding the spirit of the drum. It's feeding the spirit. And it's done with love and reverence and gratefulness, appreciation. And so when I'm done with that, I'll take it outside and brush the tobacco off so it goes onto the ground. And it's just a little bit. It's not a lot. It's just a little bit. It's enough to feed the spirit. She goes on to say, in all instances, you're being asked to note who is helping and see if you can return the favor by supporting others. The assistance of the medicine helpers does not falter when you stumble on your path. By example, you should also remain true to others who have assisted you. So that's kind of going along with the card from yesterday. When we tell our story, when we share our successes and learned our life lessons, and so when we share that with others, it's a possibility that we're encouraging someone else to face their fears, to be kind, whatever that message is, right? To share it with your story with someone else, to encourage them. To have allies, you must also learn how to be one. How to be an ally. How do you be a cheerleader for someone else? You know, that I love that part. That's one of my gifts. I'll claim it. I'll hug it. It is one of my gifts to be a cheerleader and to support somebody like that. And that's why I just love doing what I do for Star Nations. To be the cheerleader and support for some really fantastic spiritual teachers and authors. They share their medicine with you, their heart, their soul with you every week, every month. When they do their shows, they're sharing their medicine with you. When they're writing for the magazine, in their articles, they share their wisdom, their life experience, their heart. They share it with you guys. And so they are taking their gifts and walking the red road, right? And I love supporting them and helping them any way that I can. And Star Nations happens to be the platform for that. And I tell you, I have a good time. I have fun doing it. So this is the medicine bundle. It's about support and allies. You know, when you put together your personal medicine bundle, my suggestion is that it's something that's between you and your spirit helpers, and how your spirit helpers bring to you something that symbolizes them, right? That's between the two, your team. And to keep it to yourself is not to really share what is in your medicine bundle, because it's your personal medicine. And we've talked about this this past week about sacred space. And sacred space, Jamie Sams writes about it in a different perspective than I've seen before. And that is sacred space is the setting of healthy boundaries. And so within your healthy boundary is your personal space, right? And you allow in the energy that you want to experience in your personal space. So that would be like really, really close friends or really, really close family members into your personal space. Your medicine bundle, when you wear it, it is so close to you. It's close to your heart. And so that's something that is so sacred, your personal medicine, your spirit helpers, your allies, that it is between you and them, right? And so my suggestion is that you keep that close. Don't share it with everybody. Be very, very discerning, very selective of who you share that personal medicine with. In that way, to let somebody know what's in your medicine pouch. Okay, yeah, it's a good personal sacred space to set. So, with that, enjoy the rest of your Sunday and Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all of us mothers, whether you have physical two-legged children or if your children are four-leggeds. Have a good day, all right? And we'll see you tomorrow morning for tomorrow's energy draw card. So enjoy your day. Bama Mina, until we see each other again.